अपनी प्यास बुझाना. So knowledge की, skills की प्यास बुझाना is why we named our organization The Quench. और आज का सेशन रहेगा to help us understand why is it necessary to be able to communicate effectively. तो I have a small presentation prepared for all of us ताकि हम समझ सकें वो बारीकियाँ जो फ़र्क लाती हैं ज़िंदगी में सिर्फ एक स्किल के आ जाने भर से. Alright, so are we ready? Thank you so much. So can we log on to the PPT? Why effective communication? Alright, so I'll introduce you to some friends. Meet him and her. He is Santosh. He's a MTech in computer science. He is almost 25 years old. She is Priya, BCom, MCom, MBA in general management, and she is 26 years old. So these two are young people who have accomplished professional degrees. Now just think what's happening to their careers. Santosh's parents spent close to 2.5 lakh rupees on his MTech education. Priya's parents spent close to 5 lakh rupees on her MBA education. Lekin their current status is both of them are unemployed. Now, as prestigious as degrees like engineering and MBA, still no guarantee. आपके साथ ज़रा सी इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करूँगी. B schools, जिसे business schools बोलते हैं, B schools struggle to place more than 60% students that graduate from B schools. We have roughly 4,000 MBA institutes in India, and this is as of 2018 statistics. And every year, 210,000 MBA students graduate from these institutes. And 90% of students who graduate after finishing engineering programs are looking for jobs, and every year we have 12 lakh engineers ready and released in the market. There are about 10,396 engineering colleges. It is a crowded marketplace. इतने सारे prestigious, pristine MBA institutes, इतने सारे engineering colleges, और दोनों ही चाहे MBA हो चाहे engineering हो, बहुत ही prolific degrees हैं. उनके बावजूद इतने सारे बच्चे जॉब्स के लिए घूम रहे होते हैं. They don't get employment. In fact, the Indian statistics says that every year, annually, we produce some 30 lakh students who are professionals and released in the outer market. So इतने सारे बच्चे मार्केट में रिलीज होते हैं, और ये सारे स्टेटिस्टिक्स मेरे नहीं हैं, मैंने सोर्स किए हैं from reliable sources like Business Today, like Economic Times, like so on and so forth. So these are the statistics which are worth thinking about. Now, so crowded place, marketplace से मेरा मतलब है कि जितनी job opportunities हैं market में, उससे कहीं गुना ज़्यादा we have people who are looking for employment. We have young people every year getting ready with the knowledge from different programs out in the market looking for jobs. But unfortunately, we don't have that many jobs happening for all these young people. I'm going to share a little video with all of you, and I'm sure it will evoke nice memories. Let's.
आनंद सर हमेशा कहते थे क्रिएटिंग जीनियसेस 30 एट अ टाइम, लेकिन एक्चुअल में ही वाज चेंजिंग लाइव्स थाउजेंड्स एट अ टाइम. क्योंकि जब एक घर में एक बच्चा पढ़ लेता है ना, तो उस घर का, उस परिवार का, माता पिता का, आने वाली 7 पुश्तों का. क्या करोगे आईटी करके?
बायोटेक इंजीनियरिंग करेंगे.
न्यूक्लियर साइंटिस्ट, नासा में जाएंगे.
रिलेटिविटी का थ्योरी पढ़ेंगे.
थोड़ा मुस्कुराओ और मन में ही फॉर्मूला बनाओ.
अंग्रेजी को काहे इतना बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं?
बढ़ावा नहीं दे रहे हैं, अंग्रेजी का डर हटा रहे हैं. ऐसा बहुत दरवाजा है दुनिया में जो सिर्फ इसीलिए नहीं खुलते हैं क्योंकि लोग में आई कम इन नहीं कह पाते. बोल के दिखाओ.
राजा को तैयार करना है तो राजा के बच्चों को ही तो पढ़ाना होगा. लंगड़े घोड़ों को डरबी के रेस में नहीं उतारते आनंद बाबू, उनको स्टेशन के बाहर टट्टू बना के 2-2 रुपए में सवारी कराते हैं.
अब शायद पहली बार आप भी देखेंगे कि ये 2 रुपया वाला टट्टू कैसे डरबी जीतता है. घर जाइए लल्लन जी. लगता है कि तूफान आने वाला है।
Okay, so we saw a video, and I'm sure all of us have, a lot of us must have seen this movie, Super 30, which was a biopic make on a person who did something which was unheard of, unimaginable in Indian history. He took a bunch of regular 30 kids from a slum area and trained them to qualify to clear one of the most prestigious exams in India, that is for IIT. Now, a lot of us aspire to do well in life, and just like Anandji could make this happen for those 30 kids, that means something which had never been done before could be accomplished if one man decided that he had to do it. Now, today, all of us are equipped with different degrees. Either we are still studying at school or just have finished school education or are in college programs or pursuing some other professional course. Now we have acquired skills courtesy whatever education we have been through in life till date. So our educational qualification we are ready with. We are ready with degrees, or we are soon going to be ready with degrees. But what does it require to make a successful career? There is a little gap between what our education system helps us acquire and what the industry demands, requires us to have when we stand in a queue waiting for jobs to happen to us. So, from the beginning of this presentation, our motto was to help us understand why is it important to acquire a skill which is called effective communication. Now, you saw a video from a movie called Super 30, which was a biopic on Anandji's effort to translate 30 students from slum into success stories. So, if that could be done, can wherever you are today, does it seem impossible to make similar success happen for ourselves? No. But then we have to recognize what are those things which we still need to add to ourselves to be ready for whatever job demands from us. So the current gap between the skills we have acquired and skills that are required needs to be understood, recognized, and then filled. Now, there's something on your screen, SUCCESS, success. Success is that concept which has fascinated not just me and not just us, but people times immemorial. Success is something which everybody wants. I want success, my friends want success, my countrymen want success, the world wants success, even Jeff Bezos, the owner and founder of Amazon, the richest man in the world, the man who is very soon going to become the first trillionaire in the world. So we used to hear about millionaires, then we started to listen about billionaires, and Jeff Bezos is soon going to become the first trillionaire in the world. Even he demands success still. So success is something which everybody wants. And let me give my brief introduction. I'm Shweta Ahluwalia, as I mentioned, and I'm academically a psychologist, and I have 20 years of experience with young adults and young professionals and young students like all of you. So I have 20 years spent working with young people. My first stint was as a professor in psychology at the university, and after 5 years of doing that, I then qualified from IIM's Lucknow to pursue an MBA program, a management program. And then I got a job and I started my career in corporate. Now, 15 years in corporate thereafter, where I was heading HR function and training function, I realized that young people like all of you, they still lag in one skill, in certain skills, which were, so first of all, when you finish your school education, you stand in the queue to look for the good colleges for yourself. Some of us managed to get admissions to good colleges in the world. After getting to good colleges, then we stand in a queue to get good jobs in the world. Some of us get good jobs in the world. After getting good jobs, then every year we wait for good increments in our job. And after a couple of years, we wait for promotions in the job. So every stage that we are at, there are certain skills that we are expected to display and demonstrate to get what we want, the desired results from the world. Hence, so we thought I'm grateful to Ravi sir and Manoj to have put together this 15-day workshop for all of us to be together and understand what are those skills that are expected of us forever and ever. At every stage, if you have those skills, you excel, and at any stage that you don't have those skills, you lag behind. Be it after school, be it after college, be it even after getting a job for promotions. So those are skills which are required all life, not only now but all life. And why I shared Anandji's biopic, which was showcased to the world in form of a movie called Super 30, was that if those kids who had no privileged backgrounds, who had no godfathers in the world, who had nobody doing anything for them, who weren't born with all the goods and comforts of life, if they could be made to do it, why not you? Why not anyone? Anyone can do what if those 30 kids could do. All we need is one mentor. All we need is someone investing faith and hard work in us, in helping us. All right? So, let's come back to success. Now, we all want this one thing for ourselves, and I'm sure all of you also desire to see yourself successful. Currently, the age and stage that most of you, I am told, are at, you're still looking for starting a professional journey, which means that you feel that I am getting trained professionally, theoretically, academically on certain course, and that alone will help me get a job. But there's something that is still, why do you think 60% MBAs look for jobs, are not able to get jobs in spite of those MBA degrees attached to their CV? Why do you think 90% engineers struggle for jobs in spite of heavy duty engineering degrees attached to their CVs? These degrees in themselves are very profound, very prolific, but they are not sufficient to help us get jobs. Because for jobs, we have to sell ourselves in the outer world. Now, let me also bring this to your notice. Is everyone who's born in a rich and successful family also successful themselves? If that were the case, Anil Ambani would also have been as successful as Mukesh Ambani. Or Abhishek Bachchan would have been as successful as his father Amitabh Bachchan. Is everyone who has gone to the bestest of schools and colleges in the world, are they all successful themselves? If that be the case, then everyone who was successful should have been from the best schools and colleges in the world. So if everyone who's gone to the best schools and colleges may or may not be successful, similarly, everyone who is successful may or may not be from the best of schools and colleges in the world. Everyone who's born good looking, great looking, to die for looks, are they all also successful in this world? May or may not be. And are all the successful people the best looking people in the world? May or may not be. So everyone who scored topper marks class after class after class all their life, are they all also successful in this world? May not be. And are all the successful people the toppers from your schools and colleges in the world? May not be. So be it your result, be it the kind of school, program or degree that you have pursued, be it the family that you're born in, be it the success of family that you were raised in, none of that guarantees success. So what is it that guarantees success? Other than the skills required to achieve success, there are also other things that are necessary to make a person successful. Let's proceed. Okay, why I introduced this small glimpse from a movie, and I'm sure you're all reminded of this fresh, like a fresh breath movie, English Winglish. And this lady who you just saw perform in this scene is late Sridevi. And in this movie, she absolutely performed remarkably. But why I introduced this video clipping was, if you remember this movie is about a woman who travels from India to go to the US, and there she feels compelled to learn the language that people spoke in that land. And hence she goes and joins an English speaking class to help herself be at par with others around her. And in this particular scene, if you noticed, the teacher, the trainer, introduces her to a word that is entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a person who manages or does something of their own, what we popularly call as business. So anybody who runs a business of for themselves are called entrepreneurs. Now, in this particular movie, the lady, in spite of nobody around her promoting and encouraging her, she herself goes out and picks up this class and she learns the language. And that alone changes her life. She makes friends, her family starts to respect her, people around her start to appreciate what she does because she had one thing in her, the can do attitude, that I can do it. So this can do attitude is necessary if you wish to learn any skill. And as I said, I was heading L&D, learning and development function, for a big corporate for almost 15 years. And my particular organization's job was to work for American firms in the United States, for European firms like some of the biggest Fortune 500 brands in the world, for Australia, for UK, for Australia, Canada, for US. And people who came to join our firm were people like all of us who spoke English fairly average. And to be able to do the job well, they had to be able to speak English at an internationally ready level. So, as a part of my team's job, we had to bring the learning curve up. So, everybody who was hired to do the job, they had to perforce go through a 90-day learning program in which we had to ensure that their command over English was at par with the native speakers of the language. When I say native speakers, by native speakers, I mean people whose mother tongue is English. So when I speak in English, English is not my mother tongue. My mother tongue is Hindi because I'm an Indian born and raised person. However, a person who's born and raised in United States or in UK or in Australia or in Canada or in New Zealand, these people, their mother tongue is English. So we, in my job, the job demanded us to train everybody who joined the company to, in 33 months and 90 days straight, to be able to speak at the same level as a native speaker speaks. Because their day-to-day, day-in, day-out job was to engage with those people. So this is a skill which is absolutely learnable. This is not a skill that some are born with and some can't acquire. Just like you, when you were born, in whatever families that you were born and raised in, you picked up your mother tongue because everybody around you spoke that language, and hence it was easy for you to listen to the language and learn to imitate. By imitate, I mean do as you hear others do, or say as you hear others say. When you copy someone, that is called imitation. So as a little child in our families, we listen to the adults. We listen to the adults and we copy as we hear. We copy as we see. We copy as we see, watch others do. So when you're doing that, when you're imitating, when you're observing and copying, it's called imitation. So language is learned purely by imitation. Now, on that note, since all of us are not privileged to be born in families where adults around us speak in English all the time, we have to create that environment around us. So one of the easiest ways to learn a language is by listening to the language. The more you listen to a language, the better command you develop over it. If you have family members, fair enough. If you don't have family members, introduce elements in your life that can create an English speaking environment. You can read English, watch English programs, listen to English content. If you do all of that, read, watch and listen, these three things, if you introduce in your environment, you can, trust me, build the skill. And also, if you can engage a person who is professionally skilled to help you learn the command over the language, because it is easier to learn something but it is slightly tougher to learn something in an environment where nobody masters that skill. So if you are placed, there is something known as, because I'm a psychologist, I will keep sharing behavior principles and rules and laws with you. One of the behavior principles is that we are average of 5 people who are around us. So if you can somehow introduce 5 people in your life who speak fantastic English, who speak well, you will see your own graph shift. So introducing a teacher who's professionally skilled and trained is one way. Introducing a program is, you have lots of applications that claim to help you learn the skill is another way. Watching a lot of YouTube content which is English in nature is another way. Subscribing to magazines and books that are written in English is yet another way. Watching news channels, Indian news channels that are English Indian news channels is yet another way. So I can introduce a lot of ways that you can listen to English music, watch English movies, watch English programs. YouTube is full of content by good speakers of English language. Watch some of that. If you have a friend who speaks fairly better, spend more time talking to that friend. Engage a teacher, a professionally trained, qualified trainer to help you learn the skill. So these are some of the ways you can help yourself in developing the competency in a particular language. In these 15 days that we will spend an hour every day in the morning, I will and my team will help you understand what are the various nuances. By nuances, I mean small important facts and things that you have to pay attention to. So see these kind of small nuances that will help you discover your core strength and help you understand what is it that you can do with your life, with yourself and with your environment to help you develop a certain command over this particular language. Okay. Now, when we talk about success, success can be different things for different people. Now, everybody wishes and desires for success, but does success have a same definition for everyone across? Not necessarily. Success will obviously mean different things to different people. For some of us, success can be personal. When I say personal success, it means how I look, how I carry myself, what medical graph I have. Am I physically fit and fine, healthy, hale and hearty? Do I speak well? Do I look well? Am I carrying myself nicely enough? Success can be emotional. Do I have the skills to have enough people like me? Do I have friends and do my friends vouch for me? By vouch for me, V-O-U-C-H, vouch for me, I mean, do they validate for me? Do they say, yes, this person is a great guy and I love this person? When there is a friend gathering, am I missed if I'm not there? Do people wait for me to come to the party? Am I someone who is loved by one and all? So there are two kinds of people in this world. Some people, they bring happiness wherever they go, and some people bring happiness whenever they go. So what kind of personality do we have? Are we able to win hearts, or are we wished for to go as soon as they happen? So you have to know, if your definition of success is emotional, then you are a person who desires to have love and friends wherever you go. Professional success. Since I assume that all of you are still to start your professional inning, so that can be something super, super valuable for all of you right now, that you have professions or designations that are super impressive, that when you show your business card to friends and family, everybody feels proud of you. Your parents' pride doubles when they introduce you to their family members or their friend circle. Financial success. That means how much money do you have in your bank accounts? Can you sign a check worthy any amount that you wish to? Do you buy things without thinking twice about what is the price tag of this particular object that I wish to buy? Or can you just pick up anything that you want? What is your financial success? Then social success. By social success, I mean, if you are in society, do people look up to you? Is your name powerful enough for things to happen in society? And finally, spiritual success. Is it that you sleep with a clear conscience at night, or are you laden with a lot of guilt baggage? Do you sleep peacefully every night? So, these are the 6 baskets of success. Each one of us desires for a lot of this. We all want to have personal success, we want to look good and carry ourselves well. We want emotional success, we want to have friends who vouch for us. Professional success, we all want good jobs and good careers. Financial success, we all want to be able to buy things without thinking 10 times before buying them. Social success, we all wish to go to be a relevant part of the society. And spiritual success, we all want to have a good 8 hours sleep at night with nothing weighing on our minds. Now, because you are young, you're all 16, 17 and above, and I'm assuming you're all less than 30. So you're all either about to start your 20s or somewhere in the first half of 20s. Now, so if that is the age bracket I'm addressing to, then professional and financial success obviously seem to be the most important 2 elements of success. And be it professional success, that is what kind of career you make, or be it financial success, that is how much money and zeros at the other end do you have in your account. If that be your case, then there are certain skills that are very, very critical for you to be able to accomplish all of that you desire for in life, in profession, and in financial success. I have yet another video. Do you recognize this gentleman? Can you place who he is?
Trevor, you said you took.
Okay, so this gentleman, first listen carefully to what the 2 people on the screen are talking. The person on the right is the gentleman who happens to be the among the top 5 richest men in the world. He is Warren Buffett. And the lady next to him is an interviewer, a reporter who is interviewing him. Just carefully listen to what Warren Buffett is telling this interviewer.
Trevor, you said you took a class at Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
And that changed your life.
Yeah.
When was that?
Well, I was totally terrified of public speaking. I couldn't do it. I would throw up. You know? I just wouldn't. So I arranged my classes in high school and college so I didn't have to do it. And then when I was at Columbia, I saw an ad in the paper. I went down to Midtown, New York. I gave him a check for $100 to sign up for the Dale Carnegie course. I went back and stopped payment on the check. And then I came out here to start selling securities. I knew I had to do it. So I saw another ad. And I went down right near here and handed the guy $100 in cash, Walden Keenan. And I took the course. I tell him, look, you learn all this complicated stuff. It's an MBA. But if you improve your communication skills, I will guarantee you that you'll earn 50% more money over your lifetime. And I said, it's kind of beneath the business school to teach you about speaking better, writing better, but that is what counts. And this is when you know some elaborate formula about options or something. And so I tell every one of them, I say, unless you really think you're good at this now, go out and improve your speaking and communication skills.
Now, for those of you who could not clearly understand what Warren Buffett
Trevor, you said you took a class at Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
And that changed.
Stop that bit. So those of you who were struggling to understand what Warren Buffett was telling this woman who was asking him about a certain class that Dale Carnegie took after he finished his education, and this class that he took was at a training institute in the US called Dale Carnegie Institute. This is what he had to say. You will be worth 50% more in your life if you improve this one human skill. And what he was talking about was the skill to communicate effectively. And when you stand up and talk, people listen. When you stand up and talk, people say, yes, we will do as you say. When you go into a 2-person conversation, you come back with desired results. When you address public, people want to keep listening to you and they agree and they follow you. Whenever you stand up and talk, you're able to sell an idea. Imagine yourself with this one particular skill, which the richest person in the world also claims to be that one and only skill, which if you can master, your chances of being successful are multiplied by 50%. So if you can master this skill, you will be 50% definitely more successful than you otherwise may be. So this is how much importance even Warren Buffett gives to this one skill, and that is the skill called communication skills. Now, the intent of this workshop, 15-day workshop, because we just have about an hour every day and just for 15 days. And I told you that this is one skill which is absolutely learnable skill. If you give yourself 90 days, 90th day, you can be speaking fluently like anybody speaks in the world. You can master the skill called communication skills, and you can learn to communicate effectively. So when we are able to communicate effectively, what all happens? I wish this session could be made interactive. I wish I could ask you questions and I wish you could answer me back. I wish you had questions and you could raise those questions but I give you the right to ask me questions. You can put a text of your question in the text box and these questions will reach me and I will at the end of the session answer all your questions. So number one, all of us wish to be successful. We desire success. I desire success. You desire success. Even the most successful people, their families desire success. Success is not subservient. Subservient means it is nobody's servant. Success is not subservient to what family you are born in, how much scores you got every year in your academics, what schools and colleges you went to, how tall and broad and wonderful you look. So success does not depend upon any of this. Success depends upon can-do attitude. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So it is always about what you think you can. Success can be accomplished by those who think they can do it. So I shared two videos with you. One, Super 30, other, English Winglish. Both the movies are worth watching to feel inspired. One movie talks about how just one mentor, one teacher takes charge of 30 kids from slums who had no background, no family, no privileges, no great schools and colleges, nothing. And they could be converted into success stories for the world to learn and be inspired by. And the other example, English Winglish, where a lady, a simple homemaker from India, when she travels to the United States, where she is in a land where no one understands her and she understands no one because of the language barrier, she enrolls herself in a program and she brings herself up the learning curve. She develops a skill and she experiences an elevation in her status in the society, in her family. She makes friends, she's able to do business, and she earns everybody's love and respect. So yes, with this one particular skill, your professional graph changes. With this one particular skill, your personal graph changes. With this one particular skill, your financial graph changes, your social graph changes, and all of it makes you a more successful person. So if you wish to be successful, be it as a school student who wishes to get into a good college, or be it a college student who wishes to get a good job, or be it an employee in a job who wishes to get promotions, at every stage this one particular skill makes a lot of difference, and that is the skill how to communicate effectively. Now, before we go on, as I said, I manage a learning and development organization. My organization's name is The Quench, Quench, The Quench. And you can find us on our website, The Quench, www.thequench.in. You can even visit us on our Instagram page, The Quench Global, and you can even watch our YouTube channel. We have recently started a YouTube channel called The Quench Academy, where we create a lot of content to help young adults like you, young kids, children like you, to help develop skills, to help learn the language, to help motivate, to help muster all the skills that are necessary to be successful in life. So you can absolutely subscribe to our channel, and our channel is called The Quench Academy. I have an assignment that I want to give you. Out of all the videos that you will find on our YouTube channel, there's one particular video that talks about this skill that we are dealing with today, the skill called effective communication. I want you to go and watch that particular video, and tomorrow when we come back on the session, I will have certain assignments to give you based that particular video. I want you to watch that video and we will have an assignment around it for a session tomorrow. So what I will do, I will use activities for us to learn and exercise back at home and come back. Now, as a rule, since this is going to be a communication program, I have certain norms that I want to lay down. Number one, I want all of us to download an online dictionary. So you have Oxford, you have Webster. Oxford is an English dictionary recommended by the school of Oxford University. And the other one is Webster, which is an American dictionary. So either of the two, whichever you can download on your smartphones, please download one of those two dictionaries. Because dictionary is a phenomenal book, phenomenal documentation of language content. It does not only talk about the words that the language has. For example, English language has some 1 million words. 1 million words, that's a lot of words. Now, so it does not only house all those words and give the meaning of each word, but it also explains a lot of grammar around each word and also the pronunciation of each word. So dictionary alone helps you understand the vocabulary, the pronunciation, as well as the grammar. So you ought to download one of the two dictionaries, either Webster's or Oxford. So either of the two dictionaries, please download on your smartphones so that in future, if you're doing any activity, you can refer to your dictionary. Those of you who really desire to command this language, to have command over this language, because 250 years अंग्रेजों ने हम पर राज किया. अब क्या 250 years आप अंग्रेजी को अपने ऊपर राज करने दोगे? No. So rather than letting the language command you, learn to command the language. You should be able to command the language to drive your own desired results. Because trust me, I have 20 plus years of work experience. And with my work experience, I can very confidently say that in our country, English is not just a language which people use to communicate. English is also, unfortunately, a huge definition of which segment in the society you belong to. If somebody can speak better English, they are treated a certain way, and people who struggle to speak fluently in English are treated a certain way, which is very unfortunate. For example, in my initial 20 years back when I started my journey, professional journey, I had one student in my class. And this is back when I was teaching at as a professor in psychology in a university. So one of the girls in my program, she used to struggle to speak in English. And because she used to struggle to speak in English, I used to spend extra time sitting with her because it was an English medium university. So I used to sit with her, spend extra time in helping her master the skill. And whatever extra time I spent her, she used to really enthusiastically participate and learn. If I gave her certain assignment, she would do. And this was sheer out of my love for my student because she was a good girl and I wanted to help her. Trust me, after 2-3 months, every evening after the college classes got over, I would spend half an hour, 45 minutes with her every day. And one fine day, she comes to the class and she touched my feet. And I was like overwhelmed. I said, why did you touch my feet? What happened? Man, I got myself, and there's something that I want to share with you. I said, okay, what happened? She was working as a salesperson in some company, in a bank actually. So she said that, ma'am, every day my manager, when he called us in the evening to collect the data for the day, whatever we had accomplished in the day, he would offer chair to everyone but me. He would let me keep standing at the end and he would never offer me chair. But today, for the first time, he offered me chair to sit on because he said, now you speak good English. And so he offered me a chair to sit on. Guys, it was such an overwhelming experience for me that day that it is just a language, but it defines people's lives because it influences how the world interacts with you, how the outer world behaves with you, how the outer world respects you or doesn't respect you. So it is just a language, it is absolutely learnable. Whatever it takes to learn the language is your attitude, your can-do attitude. We have a channel, YouTube channel, the Quench Academy. I would recommend that you go and subscribe to that channel because there is a lot of intelligent, beautiful content and on that channel, absolutely free of cost for all of you to go and watch and learn and be inspired by. And also come back and give me feedback if you want me to create some of more. There are some videos that are pronunciation videos because a lot of us would love to be able to pronounce English the way all good speakers of English do, but we don't know where we falter, we don't know how to do that. So we've also made certain videos for helping you in pronunciation. So, long story short, it is a useful way of acquiring some of the skills. But remember, whether you command the skill or you don't command the skill, it is only you who decides that. It is your decision that you wish to command that skill or don't wish to command that skill, because if you acquire this one skill, this is required in every stage of life. In fact, if you look around yourself, your immediate family, your parents, if you are 18, 19, 20, whatever, your parents must be somewhere in the 40s. Now, all the adults in your family, include everybody who's your parents' age bracket in your family. How many people do you see as people who are super duper successful? Few. And how many people do you see who are struggling to be successful? A larger number. And trust me, this is not only you, or this is not only my family that looks like this. These are all the families around us that look like that. Very few people do what it takes to be called successful, and a lot of people struggle because this one attitude called can do it is missing in most of the people. So if you wish to be successful, first of all, you have to enlist what are the gaps, because you have acquired certain skills. But to be successful, it requires certain skills. And if you think English or effective communication is one of the essential skills to make the switch from where you are to where you wish to be, then you absolutely should acquire that skill. And if you think you can, you absolutely will acquire that skill, because I have 20 years of experience that people who wish to be successful, and if they decided to learn English and effective communication, they could learn it. And they could bring changes in their life, and they could acquire milestones after milestones after milestones of success. So, for example, our current leader of the country, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So, while Narendra Modi was handling politics at Gujarat level, he spoke in Gujarati. But when he graduated and he had to command a national level position, he started to communicate in Hindi. And now that he's commanding international position as one of the top leaders in the world, a very recent survey globally conducted by Gallup International said that he is today number 3rd ranked leader in the world. And after the fight against Corona campaign that India has demonstrated, he has been rated as the number 1 leader in the world. And today, because he's internationally relevant leader, he speaks in English. So if he at that age could learn the language, because it is necessary to learn that language at whatever stage and age you feel. But the sooner you learn, the better it is. So all you need is to cultivate an environment around you. You can read English content, you can speak to people who speak good English, you can listen to people who speak good English, you can watch content that is English. Just by these 4 things, you can start to create that environment. Environment makes all the difference. Remember, we all learned our mother tongue languages because of the environment we were born in. So you may not be born in an English-speaking environment, but you can absolutely create that English-speaking environment by choosing what you listen to, by choosing what you read, by choosing what you watch, and by choosing who you speak to and engage with. By just doing that much little difference creation in your environment, you can create the kind of conducive environment that requires to build capability to speak a language. Okay, thank you guys. Now, last but not the least for the day, these are some elements going forward for next 15 days. This is what we are going to try and accomplish. What you say, that is verbal communication. How you communicate is a lot of what are you saying. Aap kya kehte ho? What you say is your verbal communication. At times we've all realized that it is not what you say that is important. Of course it is important, but how you say it is even more important. So if you remember any time when you were upset because of something that someone said, it was necessarily not what the person said, but how the person said it that hurts us more. So how you say what you say is important. In fact, what you say is 30% important, and how you say it is 70% more important. So how you say is non-verbal communication, which is also commonly called body language. Now, uske baad we're going to learn tools that you use to communicate effectively, which are your vocabulary and your fluency. Vocabulary, by vocabulary, I mean the kind of words that you use to express your thoughts. And by fluency, I mean if you are fluent, you speak free flowly, or are you interrupted in between, or are you stuck? For example, if I speak fluently, as I'm doing right now, or if I don't speak fluently, if I don't know what I should be saying, and if this is how someone speaks, that is not fluent. So vocabulary, choice of words, fluency, if you can speak fluently like a free-flowing waterfall. And next, the credibility that you build. That is, you are, each one of us is a brand in the market. So, if you are a brand, then you are your own brand manager, you are your own brand designer, you are your own product, your own service. You are everything for yourself. You are the product, you are the service, you are the brand, you are everything. How do you brand manage in the outer world? And for example, if you were to go and face an interview tomorrow, interview is not a selection process. Interview is an elimination process. So when the interviewer, the person who needs to hire you for his company, when he receives 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, as many CVs, many shortlist CVs, he is selecting as many as he can. That's a selection process. However, when he sits in that chair as an interviewer and you are brought in the room to be interviewed by him, interview per se is the elimination process. If you have 50 people lined up for an interview, lining you up was selection. But who gets selected is a process of elimination. That 49 have to be eliminated so that the person who remains is the person who is given the job. So interview is the process of elimination. So what is it that we end up doing in that interview that becomes the reason why we are eliminated? So you have to understand, and it is not just about interview process, it is anywhere and everywhere. How come there are two siblings in the family? One sibling gets approval or permission from parents, but for the same matter, the other sibling is told, no, you can't. How come when your friend circle, one friend is heard and everybody does what this one friend says, but other friend, when he says something, everybody rejects what he says and proposes? When you are in a classroom, how come man chooses one of you to become the monitor and not the other of you, others to become the monitor? So what is it that the ma'am does in her head, or a boss does when he's promoting people, or parents do when they're saying yes and no to children? What is it that goes on in the head of the interviewer, in the head of the bosses, in the head of the teachers, in the head of anybody when they say no to you? So how do you manage your brand? How do you create the perception of who you are so that people love to listen to you and love to say yes to you and love to hire you? That is called building your credibility by managing your perception and building your brand. So these are the kind of things that we will be talking about in the coming 14 more days. And verbal communication, as I said, it will deal with correctness of sentence structure, impact through pronunciation. Non-verbal communication will include facial expression and smile and body language and postures and gestures. Techniques that we use will include choice of words and uninterrupted flow of communication. And credibility, how you build your credibility has to do with the attributes and the personality traits that earn respect, and manifestation of earned respect into influencing desired result. So all of this is what we're going to be doing and learning in the coming 14 days. Thank you so much. Now we are open to receiving questions from all of you. So guys, now we are ready for questions. If you have questions, you can send them to me. Is this a question? Okay, I have a question from Damodar. What will you be learn article, active voice, direct, indirect degree? Okay, so we will talk about grammar, and in grammar we will talk about articles and all the two things that you've asked for, direct and indirect speech and active and passive voice. Yes, we will do all of that. Today the session was just to orient you to the why of communication. Why is it that you need to learn? Okay, now we have another question from Rashmi who says, how this training helpful me in future? Okay, as I expressed now already, this training should help you understand what are those skills that we still need to acquire to get the desired jobs in our life. And this training will help you build those skills. At least this training will help you understand where is the necessity and how to go about working hard and what all can you do. So if you wish to be a person who wishes to start a career, it can be a job or something of your own, government job or private job or any kind of profession, then you need to have certain skills. Even if you are a student preparing for UPSC exam, after your exam you have to face an interview. An interview is about verbally communicating. So the way you communicate makes a lot of difference, and hence it is necessary that you learn the art of effective communication. And as I said, what you say, how you say, what tools you use, and how you build your credibility. It can be an interview in a scenario or any scenario. How do you establish your credibility? Then we have another question from Lovish. How about Collins Dictionary? Yes, Collins Dictionary is equally good. Webster's, Collins, Oxford, they're all recommended dictionaries. Any one of those you can download on your online dictionary, can be downloaded on your smartphones. Those will help you a lot. Any more questions, guys? Okay, the timing will remain the same, 11 o'clock every morning, an hour. And last 10 minutes, I would love to keep for any questions that you may have. And guys, please feel free to ask anything in between. Even if you have a question in between, you can text me that question and I will address. I shared with you the link of the YouTube channel that we have, the Quench Academy. Please go and subscribe and see the kind of content. Some of it will be really useful. For example, if you aspire to learn pronunciation, how to pronounce certain words in English better, you can learn it there. And so there's a lot of content there. You can browse through and see what you like. And you can visit us on our Instagram page. Our Instagram page is the Quench Global. And you have the contact details. You can reach out to us. Please share your email addresses so that all the content that I am going to share with you, my team is going to share with you, we can also share the PDF and all the notes with you. So please, for those of you, we will be sent emails off. We will be able to share content, relevant content with you. And we are, as I said, a learning and development organization. We run these kind of programs. And those of you who wish to take the long-term training program can also touch base with the team and we will be able to address your concerns. Anything else that you want to voice, say, ask, please do that now. Otherwise, we are calling it a day. The session was good, fun. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow. Bye. Have a great day ahead.